right, Scar. In this week's match, we look at Florida State versus Kent State, and it's not the biggest of matchups, but Florida State's my team, so we got to talk about it. And Florida State's favored by 45.5 points. The over/under is at 56 right now. 89% of the bets are on Florida State, but 84% of the money is on Kent State. So that's a little interesting, but we'll get right on into it. And this right here is what we call a good old fashioned mismatch. And Florida State is, they got all greens across the board. 46 in offensive success rate for pass, 30th for rush. You look at Kent State, it's a lot of numbers in the hundreds. 120th in EPA per rush on offense. They're number 6 in EPA per pass. They can at least throw the ball just a little bit, but I don't think Florida State's going to have much trouble in this football game. On the offense side of the ball, Florida State's second EPA per pass. They don't throw it a whole lot, which we'll talk about in a minute. But when they do throw it, they do make a lot of yards. They make it count. I think that Deuce Robinson last week or a couple weeks ago had 180 something yards in just one quarter. So they know how to make it count. So Gus Miles on offense. He's going to run the football. He's going to keep your defense on their toes. That's just what he does. And you look at available or EPA per rush. Florida State's number 12. Kent State's defense can kind of sort of be okay in that area, but I think Florida State's level of run game is going to be a different level than what they've been facing. And we're gonna get running to Florida State. We're not gonna spend too much time on Kent State, but see Florida State's 132nd in plays per game passing with only 18. They run 49 times a game on average, which is number 6. Like I said, Gus Miles on offense, they're gonna ram the ball down your throat. They're gonna make you man up and stop it. That's just what they're gonna do. And then when you put 8 or 9 guys in the box, they'll hit you over the top for some big plays and really make an uncomfortable day for you. And this is an offensive and defensive stat profile, and you can see on the offense side of the ball, explosive plays at the top, passing explosive at the top, passing EPA per play at the top, yards per dropback. So everything just kind of goes into what I'm saying. And then on the defense side of the ball, rushing explosive is they're good at limiting that. Non-explosive EPA per play, they're good. They get up a few big plays in the passing game. Most of that was against Alabama, but even then, Alabama was kind of struggling to move the football. Just Ty Simpson, every so often he could find a receiver for 20 yards so down the field. That's more in the first and second quarter of that game. As the game kind of settled in, Ty Simpson didn't look so good. Tony White really started getting after him, and that was just Florida State's been impressive to start the season. I mean, definitely after last year, you couldn't ask for a better start. And this is their week by week efficiency chart so far, and against Alabama, ran 63 plays, 382 yards. 0.49 points per play, and then 12.32 yards per point. And against East Texas A&M, 71 plays for 729 yards, 77 points. So they really don't what they're supposed to in that game. And points per play, getting 1.08 points per play, literally more than a point for every play is just insane. They scored on like 10 straight drives in that game. Might have been 11. They just completely done what you wanted to a team like East Texas A&M. And Fab one kind of negative take is the first drive of that game was kind of not very pretty to watch, but I think it's the second drive, the deep like 80-yard touchdown pass to Deuce Robinson, and then after that everything else is kind of history. The third drive was a little they got down at the goal line and took about 3 times I think to get the ball and just wasn't the cleanest, 2 out of the first 3 drives, but by the end of the game I don't think anybody ever thought of that. But for me, I think of stuff like that because I'm looking ahead down the road to being able to execute against like a Clemson or Miami or a Florida. You got to be able to lock in and do that. So I like to see them get that cleaned up if I'm being nitpicky. And this is also another graph for their game efficiency: 12.3 yards per point against Alabama, 0.49 points per play, 9.50 yards per point against East Texas. And it's a different way to look at it. And this game efficiency comparison to Kent State, Kent State's 15.19 yards a point. Yards per pass, Kent State gives up 14.51. Kent State averages 14.51 yards a pass. Florida State gets 20.8 yards per pass on offense. A lot of that came in that East Texas A&M game. And then, of course, yards per pass on the defense side of the ball. Florida State's been stingy, 11.53. Kent State at 12.36. So we'll see what happens. I do want to see Florida State get out to a hot start in the game, and I think Florida State can cover if they can gain 500 yards of offense. And I don't see why they can't. I think they'll be able to run for 250, if not 300, probably get another couple hundred on the ground, and I think the over might have some value in the game. So Florida State can get to 50. I think Kent State could get at least a garbage touchdown in there. It might be like a 52-7 game or something like that. But for Florida State, health is number one priority. Got some big games coming up. After this, you got to go on the road to Virginia on a Friday night, which is, this Friday night games where you go into hostile territory is never a fun time. Some flukiness can always happen. So got to watch out for that. Don't look ahead to the Miami game. We as fans might, but as a team, keep your players healthy, stay on track, do what you got to do, and let's get ready to have some winning football. And thank y'all for watching. Plenty more to come.